That should be like the bare minimum, is that the people on our team should not be getting arrested and extradited. You would think that would be literally the bare minimum.
Nick Fuentes is the latest to defend the indefensible, aka Andrew Tate. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, your home for independent and nonpartisan commentary and analysis on politics, media, internet insanity, and more. We're going to check in with the far-right, or really alt-right, streamer Nick Fuentes, who, I don't even know, he's somehow still has a significant audience and is culturally relevant despite his extreme and acerbic takes and commentary and frankly wild bigotry and all sorts of craziness, though occasional lucidity. I mean, he's actually called out conspiracy theories that are unsubstantiated on the right by people like Candace Owens, and a few other times he's actually made sense. So who knows? I was not sure. Maybe I thought he would put forward the correct and honest and sane take on the attempted extradition of the Tate brothers, facing very serious and substantiated and extensively numerous criminal charges in the United Kingdom. Maybe he would be a voice of reason and say that, hey, we say we care about Christianity and faith and family, and so when people are accused of and offenses related to children and many other things, that they are quite similar to the things they have bragged about in text, voice notes, and public commentary about doing, that should be taken seriously, and that while they're innocent until proven guilty, they should have the chance to be proven guilty by being extradited to the UK, where they are citizens, to face those charges in court. I thought Nick Fuentes might deliver that sensible take, but instead he decided to join the ranks of people on the right, disgracing themselves even further by defending Andrew Tate, and he did it in a particularly incoherent way that also directly contradicts the things he himself has said in the past. We're going to go through it. First, here's a clip of him defending Andrew Tate and bashing Trump for not intervening to stop the extradition. Let's watch.
And I believe, and I think they believed, that they had some level of diplomatic protection from the United States, particularly from the Trump administration. Tate brothers have been good allies. They've been a pretty good sport.
Sorry, what? They had diplomatic... Did I miss the part where Andrew Tate was a diplomat? Is the diplomat in the room with us? No, also, you wouldn't even have diplomatic immunity for crimes that you committed in your home country, in Britain. That makes no sense. And I'm sorry, the idea that President Trump should or would intervene to stop the extradition of a British citizen facing serious sexual abuse of women charges, and even charges related to children now, as in the latest charges, when there's, ample evidence and corroboration behind some of these claims, because he's a loyal supporter of the president, that's insane. That's totally immoral and just absolutely, oh yeah, we should cover up crimes and obstruct justice for people that support us politically. Do you hear what you're saying? Wow. Anyway, I'll let him keep going, I guess.
To the Trump administration. And from what we've heard today, it sounds like Trump is not going to lift a finger to help them.
Good.
And so we'll see what happens in this hearing, but it's not looking good.
It's actually looking great.
Golden age. We have all these indictments that we were promised. And of all people, it is the Tate brothers that are getting thrown in jail. You just love to see it. That should be like the bare minimum, is that the people on our team should not be getting arrested and extradited. You would think that would be literally the bare minimum. We're not going after our enemies. We're not massively deporting illegals. We're not building a wall. There's a lot of things that are not happening. And you would think that at the minimum, the good people, the people on the winning team, the team that propelled this regime into office, would not be getting persecuted.
Sorry, it's not a persecution, first of all. It's accountability and due process of law. And there's so many things that just happen there. One, they're actually deporting quite a number of people, but sure. He's not prosecuting our enemies. He's trying. He's coming up with indictments, some of them legitimate. John Bolton, I think, ended up pleading guilty to some crimes, but others of them totally bogus, like the case against James Comey about the seashells that we went over. So he's certainly trying to go after his enemies, but what does that have to do with anything? What? We should obstruct the pursuit of justice against very seriously accused criminals because they're on our side and because we should be focusing on getting our enemies. What? That is not how a justice system should operate. And the idea that you would just be so nakedly cynical as to defend people who are so obviously they deserve their day in court. But I have never seen an example of a case where there is more, when they say where there's smoke, there's fire. Obviously, that's not always the case. But in this case, smoke has filled the entire building. You can't enter a room in the house without choking on the smoke that's full of the air in the air. And there's we don't know for sure if there's a fire yet, right? We got to get the fire department here to issue a final report. It's okay, well, sure. They, of course, deserve to due process of law and all of this. But these people are on camera admitting to abusing and to pimping women. They are on camera and on voice note and on text messages talking about hurting women, talking about how much they enjoy hurting women without their consent. It's there is so much incredible smoke. And then he's well, this is just some persecution and they're on our team. So who cares if they all those women? Why would, It's never pretend to care about, traditional values or Christianity or anything like that again. Because if you can't stand up against men who abuse women, allegedly, and if you want to let them off the hook just because you think they're on your team politically or something, that's disgusting. It's absolutely despicable. And just a few years ago, Nick Fuentes himself took a very different approach on the Tate brothers. And I'll show you that in just a second. First, let's listen to the rest of this clip.
In particular, on behalf of the United Kingdom, which is one of the most hostile governments in the world to right-wingers, conservatives, white people, however you want to cut it. And yet this is what's happening. July 2026, Andrew and Tristan Tate picked up by the Trump government, deported to the Labour government of the UK to face these ridiculous Me Too charges. It's really something.
I mean, Me Too charges makes it sound like it's some frivolous sexual harassment campaign. It's a complaint. It's not. They're very grave accusations of horrific sexual abuse and violence by many, many women. Yeah, you should be extradited in that situation. Absolutely. And he doesn't know anything about them. He's just dismissing them because he doesn't care. He doesn't care about women being harmed. He literally is just a deeply cynical troll. And it is immaterial to him whether or not the Tates abused these women or not, because they've collabed with him and brought him spotlight, and he likes the crazy shit they say about Jews. Really, I think that's as far as the analysis actually goes. And there's just a contrarianism to Nick Fuentes as well, where he doesn't want to take the common opinion. And so he's oh, that'll piss people off if I defend Andrew Tate. But it's not even, I don't even think he actually believes anything he's saying. I think he knows they're guilty of sin. He knows they're horrific people. And he knows they belong in prison in some form or another due to some crime or another. It's obviously, I don't know if every accusation against them is true. And that's why due process is important. But it's I can say with near certainty that they're not all false. There's so many, and they're so corroborated, and there's so much evidence in support of them. Anyway, I want to show you what Nick Fuentes said just a few years ago about Andrew Tate. Listen to this.
Andrew Tate is a photographer. Let's just be very honest about what he is. Whatever you think of him, that's what he is. He's a photographer. He makes. That's how he made his money. That's how he makes a living. He was a fighter. Fighters aren't worth $1 billion or $100 million, however much he's worth. Fighters don't, unless you're Floyd Mayweather, fighters don't make that kind of money. He made his money through pornography, which is like the definition of selling your soul to the devil. What do you think that means? He did something extremely immoral in exchange for money. But everybody needs to recognize, love him, hate him, that he's a and objectively a bad person. Objectively, He should be in jail.
So just a few years ago, before even all these accusations that now he's downplaying and dismissing for no real reason, he admitted that Andrew Tate was a terrible person who belonged in jail, who sold his soul to the devil. But now we have Nick doing a 180. I mean, he of all people has flip-flopped on so many issues and topics and questions, just done a complete 180 on his positions and beliefs on so many things. It's really remarkable, because I don't know how next week he could be saying something totally different about Andrew Tate. And that's one reason, among many, by the way, that Nick Fuentes should not be viewed as a remotely credible or trustworthy source. And how can you at all, because most of his followers are young men who have sisters, who may have wives or girlfriends or mothers. It's like, how can you care about women at all that you would never want to see harmed in the ways that, honestly, like Andrew Tate's on camera, just the way he treats women on camera on things himself he promoted and published. You're saying, ha ha ha, no, he's edgy and we like him and he's on our team politically, so who cares? It all must be BS, whatever. If you're nodding along to that, I think you really need to reflect on that. And whether or not, I don't know. Are you also just immoral? Do you just not care? Or are you disconnecting? I think there's this thing that happens online a lot where you disconnect from the thing you're seeing on your screen or people talk about on TV or on YouTube or whatever. It's not like real life. I think you need to sit and imagine or go watch the footage as well of him doing horrific things to women, which is readily available. There's footage of some of it. But just imagine in real life a woman being treated the way that Andrew Tate is accused of being treated. And then ask yourself, is it just a meme? Is it just haha funny? Fuck the libs. It's really not. And this is not a witch hunt. It's not a political persecution. This is accountability. It is the rule of law. It is due process in action. And it is something that you absolutely cannot defend without twisting yourselves in pretzels and dispensing with any remaining fiction that you actually care about. You know, chivalry, being a Christian man. I mean, the upside, there's downsides to that philosophy and worldview. But the upsides are supposed to be that, like, oh, well, you're a traditional man. Okay. Well, that must mean you're a chivalrous, upstanding guy. You don't do this. You're not a dirtbag. You're not a sleazeball. You don't defend and look the other way for predators. That's the redeeming value of that kind of thing. There's other things that come with, that traditionalist Christian worldview that I certainly don't appreciate. But it's like the actual Christian conservative men I know who live out their values are the ones who speak out and stop mistreatment of women in the workplace or in the real life. They don't meme about it, excuse it from their friends, or actively try to obstruct justice when it happens. And I think that tells you a lot about who's earnest in these values and who selectively cosplays them for clout and vibes. Anyway, that's my take on the latest Nick Fuentes viral controversy. I guess to see him defending the indefensible is not at all shocking, really, but I don't know. I'm going to call it out when I see it. So that's my take on the situation. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't yet. Do hit the like button. Consider becoming a channel member if you want to support my content. I call it the far left and the far right, and I try to be independent and honest. So it's not always the best business model, unfortunately, but I can use all the support I can get. So hit the join button or click the link in the pinned comment to become a channel member, and we'll talk again real soon.